I am back here again at the Fourth Creek Burying Grounds. Those of you who might have watched the last one that I did, if you look really closely here, there's a picture of the wall that I talked about in the first video. One of the things that I forgot to mention about the wall, it does go all the way around this burying ground, 3/4 of an acre, was that I did talk about the fact that the wall was put up because the settlers found out that some of their cattle and some probably wild animals were coming into the burying grounds, perhaps maybe digging them up or just walking around and knocking over the stones, but they actually grabbed all the stones from their fields and brought them here. And the thing that I forgot to mention was that they actually had 40 different types of stone in this wall. So you got to think about, there wasn't a quarry at that time. They actually just got what they had out of their fields and brought here. So all the rock inside of this wall here was actually built from rock from their area farms. So they would bring their rock in and put it up against the wall to keep the animals out. Now I'm here today for a couple things. And one of them is I wanted to talk about symbols. And I wanted to show you a few symbols on some stones that are here. And this one may be a little difficult to see, but if you look really close, it is a star, or a sunburst. This also has some markings on the inside, and I'm not sure exactly the true meaning, but what I did find out, this is Mr. Archibald's burying plot here. But what I did find out that the native Indians in this area actually believed in the sun a lot, and it's part of their worship in, Mother Earth and the sun and the moon. They use this symbol a lot as a protection stone, as a protection item. But I think something was added to it here. Maybe it was added for a time frame, and maybe perhaps even added so that the spirit who's buried here can find his way back home, sort of a compass. I'm not quite sure, but I do intend to go through and get some actual symbols in this burying grounds and research it, and then do that in the next video. But I wanted you to see this one first, and I'm going to move over to the next one. Actually, the gravestone of W.L. Jenkins. He died in 1880. If you look really close, he has the symbol on his stone. I believe it to be a Freemason symbol. Again, I'm going to investigate this one as well. So, last time I was here, I told you guys that I was going to come back and do several different families. So, he will be another family that I am going to investigate. I'm pretty sure that is a Freemason. But just wanted to give you a heads up of who's coming up next. Okay, these two symbols here, if you look really close, this is the Stevenson family, and they were pretty prominent in this area at that time. If you look at the actual symbol on their stone there, it looks like it appears to be an open Bible. But I will do some investigation on them too, and along with the symbol on their stone, and it will be in, like I said, the next video. The next one that I wanted to do in my next video was William Spur. He was actually a doctor in the area at that time. He died in 1856. But if you see there, he has a chain type symbol there on the bottom there. And then as you go up his stone, he also has what appears to be the all-seeing eye. Now, I have to really investigate this to see if it's actually Freemasons or if it's actually Illuminati. I am not sure. It's a very interesting stone. been here a very long time, and I will be interested to see what his life was like when he was here in the Statesville area. This next stone here is of Claudius Summers. If I can get a little closer view of his name for you. But he died at merely 18 years of age. He has a very interesting symbol on his as well. If you see it very closely, it's a tree. It has some type of vase next to it. I'm assuming that the symbol would be for fertility. I'm not sure. I'm going to investigate that symbol and see what it is. But he's quite young, 18 years of age, and he passed away. And this stone is in very good shape still, to have been here since 1864. Okay, those of you who watched the last video that I did here at Fourth Creek Burying Grounds actually saw me talk about this stone in that video. It's actually kind of leaning off the bottom piece if you look there, and it's cracked, so I was a little worried that it might fall. But this has a very unique symbol that kind of interested me to it to begin with. But this stone, I'm going to try to get in there where you can see it a little bit, was actually for James Patterson Howard, and he was a very prominent person at that time during his lifetime here in the Statesville area, which was in just Iredell County. It wasn't actually called Statesville, but he was actually a doctor, and he actually lived in 1837. That's when he was born, and he died in 1862. And what I found about him so far was that he was a very affectionate husband, and they said he was a kind master. I'm not sure if that means he was a slave owner, or if that just means the master of his animals. I'm not sure what exactly they mean by master, but it could actually be that he was a slave owner. I would actually have to research some census records to find that out. But he was popular as a man could be, they said. He was a successful physician. So he was a doctor in the area at that time. And his loss was widely felt and deeply pained by the community when he died. I did find out that during the time that he was alive, the Iredell soldiers in the area formed a home guard called the Iredell Blues Home Guard. And he was a member of that home guard. So I wonder if somehow or another during the Civil War that he was actually injured and maybe killed trying to protect the area here. Could very well have happened, because he was merely 25 years old when he died. And to be 25 and a physician says a lot about him. He must have had some serious drive. I'm not sure if he went to some type of college to become a physician, if he trained under another physician. I haven't done the research yet. I just wanted to kind of give you a little sneak preview of his stone and talk about that. This will be on the next video as well. So right beside of Mr. Howard is actually a Lieutenant Joseph Caldwell White, and this is actually his stone. And he doesn't have a lot of symbols on his stone per se, but you know, he has this unique pattern on his actual stone. But what is unique about him was he was actually a Civil War Confederate officer. He was in the 4th Regiment of North Carolina State Troops. And during his duration of the actual battles that he went through, he was actually killed, and was actually at, trying to remember the battle, I apologize, 7 Pines is where he was killed. And there was a lot of people here in this area that were in his regiment. He was in the 4th Regiment of North Carolina State Troopers. And what actually happened was they had a big battle there at 7 Pines during the Civil War, and in Statesville alone, or the Iredell County area rather, they had 51 total soldiers actually die during that battle. And they had another 77 total that were killed, but in this area, in the Iredell area, 51 of them were actually from this area. That's a lot of people. They also had 286 that were wounded, and 369 out of the 678 came up missing. So that has to say that they were probably either blown to shreds, maybe they were unrecognizable, or perhaps maybe they just weren't able to get them back here. So it was really tragic the way he died, but I wanted to actually do some research on him, so he's going to be one of the next ones researched in the next video. So if you did actually watch the last video I did here at Fourth Creek Burying Grounds, I talked about Franklin Carlton's family. And I'm standing here at his stone again. His stone is pretty old and damaged, so I'm not sure that you can actually see his name on there, but perhaps you can. But one of the interesting things I found out about his family was that they had several children. I'm going to walk over here to their stone, that did not seem to live. So I was really, really troubled by the fact that he had 6 children. And I found some stuff thinking that perhaps he had a 7th child that actually lived that was a girl, but I've not yet pinpointed that down. But what's kind of brought me back here today for this day is the fact that since I left here, I've had these puzzling dreams, and the dream actually just keeps reoccurring. So I wanted to come here to attempt to see if I can get that to stop. The dream is actually of a small child, an infant, who is being pulled out of some water by a set of hands. Not sure if it's showing me a child that was stillborn, if it's showing me a child that fell into some water and someone is trying to save the child. The hands are not harming the child in any way. It doesn't seem to be a threat toward the child, but made me ponder and think about perhaps maybe it's a question I'm being asked. Maybe they're asking, when are they going to be born? Maybe this child has reached out to me and I'm not sure I'm reading him correctly. But, you know, being kind of new at this, I'm not sure how to approach it. So I talked to a couple people, one from Fog Paranormal, actually 2 from Fog Paranormal, and I decided to come out here and just attempt something here to see if I can make that dream go away and perhaps maybe help someone in the process. And if not, maybe it'll just make me feel better. Okay? So in my personal life, I do strum the guitar a little bit, and I pondered on the fact of bringing one here and singing a song in this area just to give them a little peace. But then I thought, you know, with different planes, perhaps the sound of the instrument itself would lessen the ability for them to hear what I'm saying. So I've decided to just come out here and to sing it without any music. And please forgive me, I'm not a singer. I am not professional in any way, but I do feel like I need to do something to see if it helps stop the dreams. Maybe even perhaps helps the person who's asking me something. These are people. These are just not grave sites, there are people here. So, this is my attempt to give you a message. And you may not be of the same religion as I am, but I am a Christian, and I believe that there is a God, and I believe that He takes us all if we ask Him to. All we have to do is ask forgiveness, and He will accept us and take care of us forever. So, here we go. Again, I apologize to the YouTubers. I am not a professional singer. For the love of a child, I'd walk 10,000 miles down a dark, dusty road, just so you will know I'm here for you. All my life, come to me, dear child, and I'll take on your fight. Now I know he don't love you, and I know she don't care. Come to me when life's just no fair. I'll be your shelter, I'll be your friend. Come to me over and over again. Na 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 na. Hope you're listening to what I am saying. Now I know he don't love you. Goes by here every day and never stops. And I know she don't care. She doesn't even know your name and doesn't care to. If you go with God, He'll always be there. You don't have to be alone. You don't have to stay here. If you go with God, He will provide. Na 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 na. Go live with God, and He will provide. He'll be your shelter. He'll be your friend. If you go with God, you'll be loved over and over again. Na 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 na. Go live with God. It's your choice, but you don't have to stay here if you are here. Ask Him and He'll accept you.